doing it. You supposed to be happy you sitting there with Kid L. Why you mad?
The Kid L Podcast.
Rocking and rolling. Valid is back in the building. How you doing today?
Yeah, what up, though, L?
We got Validtines Day coming. That's your event coming this Saturday. Talk about this event, Validtines Day.
7th annual Validtines Day. It's becoming a staple event in the world of Detroit hip hop. So it's pretty dope. This is the 7th one. They're always at Old Miami. And I've had some awesome people rock the show before. I had Swifty McVeigh from D12. I've had Black Gold. I've had Clear Soul Forces. I've had just a lot of dope names rock. And this year we got Hush. We got this super dope chick. I can't wait for people to hear her. Her name is Deshae B. Young chick, R&B chick, beautiful voice. You know what I'm saying? And who else we got? We got the homie Pierre Anthony, the homie from Grand Rapids, Woozy, and my dog, Simple Cuts, who did a lot of the beats on the new tape that just dropped. He's doing a live beat set. DJ Head will be in there, the Grammy Award winning, multi-platinum, diamond. DJ Head will be holding me down on the ones and twos. And that's what it is, man. Hennessy is sponsoring, Modelo. Funk Night Records is going to be in the building. And my other sponsor, Mitchell and Maria Clothing. They're going to be in the building, too.
Sick. And this is your event, man.
This is my event. I do this every year, Validtines Day. You know what I'm saying?
What was day one like of this when you first started? Were you single on Valentine's Day or something?
Unfortunately, I've been single every Valentine's. No, I'm just
sick. I'm sick they're doing you like that, man.
No, man. What it is it was just, I always thought about doing a album called Validtines Day and dropping it on Valentine's. And I still might do that one day.
Sure.
But I just thought, how dope would it be if every weekend before Valentine's, I do my annual hip hop showcase, you know, and one year we had to do it on YouTube, like almost like on some like I did it with a live band because of COVID, and it shut, you know, we couldn't do it, and so Valentine's Day 4 is like a 30-minute YouTube performance, just me and a live band in the studio, and it was all like decorated on some Valentine's Day shit, and it came out really dope.
Very, very cool, man.
Yeah.
What's been on your mind, man? Hip hop's been going crazy lately. We just had the Grammys yesterday.
Yeah, that just happened. The Bronco tape just dropped, which I announced on this couch, and it just dropped, and people are rocking with it really heavy. So that's on my mind. And I just want to shout out everybody who's been posting it and sharing it, and giving it a spin or two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
What else is going on in the world of hip hop? A
lot of things are like Killer Mike just won.
Yeah, Killer Mike won, and then he got arrested about some weird shit, and I guess we don't know for what.
So like,
how weird is that?
I looked at like some polls about how many people thought Killer Mike's tape would be the winner, and it was like 1.7% of people voted that thought he was gonna win with the tape. So like, he wasn't even considered for people to think he was gonna win.
Well, that's kind of cool in a way, because then it's not just a popular vote. That means supposedly the what's the word I'm looking for? The board that decides who wins. I would like to think this is their opinion based on the art and not the sales. This goes every time I come here, we end up on this conversation, and so if the results are completely pure and this is just like this board's opinion of who had the best album, and they think Killer Mike put out the best music compared to everybody else who was in those categories, then good for the Grammys and good for Killer Mike. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you do wonder how the Grammys does kind of calculate who's top and who's winner.
Well, it can't be objective. That's what Drake was saying, and I loved everything Drake said. You know, even when he won the Grammy, he was like, I just want to let y'all know, these Grammy Awards, they don't dictate what's actually the best. It's just someone's opinion. It's not facts. It's just someone's opinion. So I could go on valid313.com and like my favorite rap album of the year, and you win the valid313.com award or the Kid L award. And that's okay to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But you know, I think Drake was talking to the people who were winning Grammys. Like, don't let that get to your head and make you actually think like, just because these 5 or 10 people said your art was better than it actually is, or if you didn't win it, it's actually not. You know what I'm saying? It's just opinion.
It is an opinion. Like, you know, there's a lot of like, you know, I think, who is that list every year for the rappers? XL.
The freshman class, Double XL magazine.
Every year the Double XL gets hated on for their list. It's never like everybody agrees with the list ever. You know what I mean?
No one ever will. You can get literally the 5 best rappers in the world and put them on there. People are gonna hate. We live in the world of trolling, bro. We live in the world of like, no matter what comes on my screen, I'm gonna dislike it on YouTube or talk shit about it. You don't even know what's gonna come. There's people like that, bro, and it's just we gave the whole fucking human race a cell phone, and now everybody can voice their opinion, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah, and the funny part is, even if it is a good, bad, or whatever, sometimes people will just not even give their real opinion, and that's the trolling aspect of it. They could just say whatever they want. You're not even dealing with somebody's real, actual answer for something.
And that's what I'm saying. Some people just like to spend their life fucking with people on the internet, bro.
I've been doing my best to distance.
Fuck this Drake song. Why, bro? What did Drake do to you, man? If you don't like the song, just hit skip.
Yeah, I just seen a video of there was an NBA player and Morgan Freeman was trying to tap the guy from the NBA player from behind, and the NBA player swung around to knock Morgan Freeman's hands out the way, and then he realized it was Morgan Freeman and was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And it just and the comments were insane. Like, maybe you should be more humble when you turn around, or maybe you should see who touches you before you respond.
Has an opinion at the moment.
Man, couldn't it just be that something happened? Like, it just happened. That's what happened. He got touched. He didn't know who was touching him. He turned around,
and life went on.
And life went on. Why is it a whole story about who's right and who's wrong? Morgan Freeman shouldn't be touching people. Like, all right, man,
Relax.
It just happened, bro. Just calm down.
That's the thing, man. Let that be the message of this podcast, of this episode. Motherfucker, relax, baby.
Just
Shit
relax.
ain't that serious.
We don't have to chime in on every single thing that happens.
You really don't. You don't even have to have an opinion. How about that?
You just look at it like, oh, okay.
Just look at it, consume it, and move the fuck on.
Exactly. You know what I mean? But did you get a chance to listen to Killer Mike's tape? Like,
it's really good. I wish I spent more time listening to it, because I checked, like we've talked about this before too. Like, I don't think I gave it the time that it deserves, because there's so much music out, because I'm working on my own music. This what sucks kind of about being an artist. You are, and I think a lot of other cats will understand what I'm trying to say. And because I've made this mistake before, you listen to a different artist so much that when you go to the lab, you're in the zone that they put you in, and you're no longer in your own zone.
Right.
So especially when I'm working on my own material and I'm in the studio a lot, I'm really listening only to my own shit. You know what I'm saying? I'll peep what's going on. I'll give this tape a listen and a spin, and I can be like, whoa, that was really dope. But I try not to fall in love with it until I feel like I'm not going to be in the studio for a minute. Because if I truly fall in love with it and digest it like fully, music is like food. You don't just listen to it and it's done.
Yeah.
It sticks to you, just like food. So you have to be careful about what you put in your system. You know what I'm saying? So when you put a certain vibe in your system over and over, and you bump this person's album over and over because you love it, but you're making your own music, be careful, because that shit is gonna, it's one thing to be inspired by someone, but you definitely don't want to be so inspired that you lose yourself.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And I've made that mistake before. I'm man enough to admit that. And I had to realize, like, just keep listening to your rough drafts, keep tweaking them. So like lately, I just been listening to the Bronco tape, the other album I'm working on, and I'll peep shit here and there. You know what I'm saying? But
absolutely, like, you can be influenced unconsciously by somebody else's music, and then you'll apply it to your own content, right?
Yeah.
And so it happens, man. At the end of the day, and like you're saying, staying conscious and aware of it is the most important part. Because I remember specifically when I was working with Sada Baby a lot around 2017, everybody was trying to sound like him. The subtle nuances, all these things, and I'm like, you guys don't realize how influenced you are by another artist. That's what's happening. It's like the Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee effect. Like when you leave a Jackie Chan movie and all of a sudden you want to do karate or disarm somebody, like all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Eminem, remember when? Oh my God, I remember all the white rappers after Eminem, all the Caucasian
they all wanted to
rappers,
be lyricists. They all wanted to be.
They all have the same exact tone as Eminem. It's like, bro, you sound exactly like him. Like, what's the problem? What are we doing?
Thing of like, but that's what music is, bro. That's why, if you're kicking it with a lady, you gonna play motherfucking Marvin Gaye or some fly shit or some R&B or some. So even if you play hip hop, it's probably gonna be some more like soulful, sexy shit. But if you in the gym, you're not gonna listen to a sexy ass R&B song while you're in the gym and you're pounding a protein shake. No. You're probably gonna listen to like DMX or like 50 Cent, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So music puts you in modes, and so if you're an artist yourself and you make music, you got to be conscious of the mode you let other people's music put you in. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, 100%.
Now you don't want to lose your own mode.
Yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean?
You don't want to get over influenced. Talk about we got the Bronco tape come out. From the last one, what I seen only in social media, had like 1,700 people.
That was in the first like 24 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
It had like a couple thousand or I don't know, between like 1 or 2K like streams or something, which was cool, man. You know me, bro. Me and you talk. I don't really count the numbers. I count the love, baby. And when people are reposting it, resharing it, or somebody from, Australia is like, yo, this song with you and Stretch is fucking, all right, cool. That's the love. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And not the spins.
What did it accumulate since then, though?
Shit, I don't know. I ain't even check.
Cool. Yeah.
I ain't even check.
I mean, I appreciate that. Yeah, man. Like, even if you get 10, 20, 30,000 streams, whatever it is, it's about the people reaching out to you, the fan base that you're building up over time.
And at the end of the day, I saw LL Cool J one time say something like, you know how hard it is just to get one person to fucking listen to your music?
Yeah.
Let alone 100, 500, 1,000, 1,000,000.
I swear.
It's tough, especially in this day and age where there's a billion options uploaded every day to Spotify.
Facts.
So it's whether it's 1 or 1 million, I'm proud of that number, and thank you for listening. Y'all fuck with Valid, I fuck with you.
Yeah, like with Instagram, I think we have like 65,000 followers or whatever. So if I post something, it's automatically going to generate anywhere from like 5 to 25,000 views minimum, right? So what I did was I was like, I got to start promoting on Twitter now, just because I was like, I got to start getting on different platforms. And then even when I would get like 10 or 20 views on Twitter, I'd be like, this is so cool. Like, what the fuck? Like, y'all are watching this shit? Like,
See what I'm saying?
Once you start from zero, kind of, and you kind of just see, like, oh, there's a whole different audience and a whole different base for it, like, whatever the hell it is. Like, it all matters. Like, at the end of the day, each view matters. Once you get, it is kind of weird how you, like, all I ever wanted when I first, like, started posting on Instagram was, like, 100 views. And then once I got the 100, I was like, oh, now I want 1,000. Then once I got to 10,000, I was like, oh, now I want 100,000. Then once I started breaking the millions, I was like, I don't give a fuck about any of these views anymore. I care about if people actually care about what I'm doing, not about how many views this is actually getting.
Well,
I
love how every time I come here, this topic always creeps in. It's like numbers, money, views, and likes versus art, content, saying something that actually resonates. Would you rather say, something that resonates to 100 people, or something that is viewed by 1 million people, but it's gone the next day? And I always say, it's like, imagine if you are like a mom and pop shop restaurant owner versus a McDonald's. McDonald's sells 1 billion burgers a day, but when people go to eat McDonald's, they don't cherish it. They're not getting actual nutrients out of that. It's fast food. Just eat it real quick. It's here today, gone tomorrow. You don't even remember that you ate it. But when you go to like a real nice steakhouse, right?
Yeah.
And you go with your lady, and it's a dinner you were looking forward to all week or something like that. Yeah. That steakhouse can never compete with McDonald's, but that steakhouse, all right, that mom and pop shop, family-owned steakhouse, resonates with its clientele much deeper than any McDonald's on the corner does. You know what I'm saying? So when you treat music like that, or you treat podcasts and you treat your content, art, whatever like that, I think it's a lot more satisfying than chasing the numbers.
Yeah, because everybody's just trying to flip their numbers into money. That's the whole point of it. Like, the more views and traction that people perceive that I'm getting, the more I can turn that into profit somehow. But
sure.
And on your angle, and the way that I think that the reason that we keep getting back in this discussion is because it's going to turn back into that soon. It's going to eventually be back into art soon. It's going to be where quality, substance, meaning is going to come back. I think everybody is sick of it.
And you know what? Honestly, El, I don't even think it ever went anywhere. I think it's always been the same. It's always going to be the same. The numbers in the machine will always be the primary thing that most people see. But when you get bored of that, let's say you're a music listener, or you read a lot of magazines, or you watch a lot of podcasts, eventually a chunk of the population says, this isn't fulfilling anymore. I'm just watching it because it's popular. What's actually going to give me something? Just like somebody who eats McDonald's and fast food all the time are eventually going to say, I need some real food.
Right.
And the real food will always be there. It won't, the steakhouse is going to be there too, but you just got to find it, and people are going to come find it. So Valid's music is a steakhouse. The Kid L podcast can be the steakhouse.
Yeah.
These other ones can be McDonald's. And it's always been like that. In the 80s with hip hop, there was, you know, shit like that too. And then in the 90s, there was the underground rappers that never really blew up, but they had a following. They toured and saw the world and they influenced hip hop. So it's just, you know, it's always going to be like that. There's the McDonald's and then there's real food. What do you want?
I think the challenge that people have is that they don't want to just be a piece of the puzzle anymore. Like nobody wants to. I had a cousin who was going to school to become a neuroscientist. And then he started studying more about neuroscience and he's like, man, by the time whatever part of neuroscience I get into, whatever discovery they end up making from whatever research I do is going to be 100 years from now. He's like, I don't want to be a piece of the fucking puzzle. He's like, I'd rather just go make money at some like IT job instead. And like, I guarantee that I'm going to make a successful living for myself and enjoy my own life. But he didn't want to be a piece of the puzzle. He didn't want to be a piece of the research that ends up discovering a cure for a new disease.
Yeah,
and
then
like
I would, you know, with all respect due to your cousin, is then we have to question our intentions here.
Yeah.
Why did you even get into this first, you know, in the neuroscience and everything? What led you down that path?
Right.
Were you truly interested in the science or were you truly interested in the reward if you were good at the science? It's two different things. You get what I'm saying?
Right on.
And
no, that's part
as long as you're honest with yourself. I'm not saying that there's a right or wrong answer to that question, but as long as you're honest with yourself, because if his honest answer was like, yeah, I kind of was looking at the reward, I knew I was smart enough, and I knew I could something, and if it was really a money thing or whatever.
No, neuroscience for him was just pure interest. He loved the mind. He loved studying the mind, understanding the mind. But then when he got deeper in the field, he realized one day that like, no matter what I put myself into, no matter what I start researching to develop cures for whatever, is 100 years from now. So he's like, what the hell? He's like, I don't want to just be the guy who helped figure something out and then somebody else ends up figuring it out. And that's kind of what I'm relating to the rap game. It's almost like you said, there's so many guys creating sounds in the underground. There's so many guys creating, like I was watching this YouTube video yesterday of all the sounds that were stolen from other artists, from artists stealing from other artists stealing from, you know, Led Zeppelin was stealing music. Like all these major bands were stealing music. And you're just sitting there and you're going like, we've never heard of the guys that were being stolen from. We never heard from them, but they built something enough for people to want to take from it and build on their own thing. So the whole point is it's like building or creating something just because you want to express your creativity, but it never monetizes you. And then somebody else can take what you're doing and go figure out how to monetize it. It's like, that sucks. And that's what happens to artists all the time. I've been stolen from. I've had people steal my ideas. I've seen other artists have their ideas stolen from. Producers have their ideas stolen. People getting influenced by ideas. And nobody wants to be that. Everybody wants to make a living because if you're not making a living, they don't feel successful. They feel like failures.
I feel that. Well,
yeah.
You definitely have to make a living for yourself. But I don't know. I would just say, hey, we're all gonna die one day. And when it's all said and done, when I'm on my deathbed, if I could say I gave something to the world of hip hop, whether how small or how big, or I was just a small spoke on a major wheel, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. That means, you know, I there was something I loved and I cared for, and I contributed to this culture that I love.
Right. And
I think I don't have to go down in history as Run DMC or LL Cool J to be proud of my contribution.
Well, you're like part of the 0.1%, right? Which is an honorable thing. Like, yeah, because it is honorable.
Let's go.
You're the 0.1 because everybody who's getting involved in entertainment is doing it to make the bag or become successful. There's a 0.1% of it that are like, no, I actually just give a damn about the craft. I don't give a damn who you are unless you're working with me or collaborating with me or making something out of what I'm doing and what you're doing. Then I don't give a fuck. Like, you're the opposite of Eminem because even Eminem's like whole purpose right now is to be the best lyricist ever, like, or to be the best rapper of all time.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm competitive like that too. You know, when I leave the lab, there is a part, like a voice in my head that says like, these motherfuckers ain't fucking with my shit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like every MC needs to feel a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, this is art. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody's gonna like your art more than they like somebody else's, and there's gonna be somebody that likes that other guy's art more than they like yours.
Facts.
This shit ain't basketball and football where it's objective. Did you get the ball in the hoop? There's no way to count Eminem's points. The record sales is not what I mean here. Those are sales. But when he raps a verse, how do you dictate, well, okay, X amount of syllables rhymed. And, well, this all just becomes very vague and subjective of who's the best. And my man from De La Soul, one of my favorite hip-hop groups ever, he had one of the dopest lines when he said something like, I don't want to butcher, I can't remember exactly the bar, but he just said something like, how he became better as an artist when he focused on being a better ME instead of an MC. When he focused on being the best version of himself and the most original version of himself, instead of trying to out-rap everybody, he ended up out-rapping everybody.
Yeah, pretty much.
And his art stuck out.
That's an Eastern philosophy, and it basically is that you fix yourself before you fix the world. And you basically have to spend time alone with yourself, figure out who you want to be, how you want to handle yourself, how you want to handle yourself in the world, and then you go out into the world. Because if you do it the opposite way around, where you go out into the world to figure out who you are, then you start conforming to all these things that you gather unconsciously, like the people that you may meet, the job that you start working, the relationships you get involved in, conform you and start making you start changing or adjusting who you actually really want to be to fit in with what you just put yourself into in the first place.
The music you listen to.
Right.
Remember how this conversation started?
Yeah, the music. Yep.
Be careful what you listen to so much externally, because it's going. If you're an artist, it's going to influence what you go in the studio and make, and then you might lose yourself a little bit.
I was thinking about that this morning, like how much we conform to our situations because they're there versus the fact that we actually want to be in them, right? Like that's why divorce rate's probably so high. That's why people are probably quitting their jobs so much. It's because you just like went out in the world and was like, oh, that job's hiring at $25 an hour. Oh, that girl's gonna date me. Or those guys are gonna be my friends. And then it's like you start going, oh, I got to start making adjustments to who I am and what I am to make it work. Why don't? But like if you're
talking my language right now, kiddo. I talk about what you're talking about often with my cousins and everything.
But if before you leave the crib, you go like, all right, bro, who the hell am I? And what the hell do I want to be? And then you go out. Nobody can really change what the hell you are anymore. And it's like either you go and hang out with this group of guys or you don't go hang out with them. Those are the coolest people in the world are to me are the people that just go like, this doesn't work for me, so I'm going to go over there now. Or you guys don't like what I'm bringing to the table, so I'm going to go move over there now.
Story of my life, bro.
You know what I mean?
So we've talked about this before. You know, I grew up with every culture around me. You get what I'm saying? And my parents are immigrants as well, and whatever, you know. And if you look, whatever culture you want to look at, you know, me, I'm Serbian. So if you look at like the Eastern European cultures, I have a lot of homies who are Arabic. I have a lot of homies who are Mexican. You know, typically, dudes will marry a lady from their own culture, even if they fall in love with a lady who's not. Why? To conform.
Yep.
To just, it's easier to go along, to get along, or however that phrase goes. It's easier and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of, I'm gonna be careful now, motherfuckers are gonna see this and start, but a lot of men of all cultures, a lot of women of all cultures, I think often aren't fully satisfied with their partner that they chose. And as you said, the divorce rates are high in all cultures, all religions. Divorce rates are high, especially in the Western world.
Yeah.
Why? Well, if you ask me, because it's a little bit less frowned upon nowadays. And unlike back in the day, you didn't just put up with it, whether you're a man or a woman. And all I'm saying is, marry or be with somebody who actually fulfills you. Right. You know what I'm saying? And not just out of, this is what made my parents happy. My family knows their family. They know what village we're from back home. It all makes sense on the surface, but this person ain't your best friend. They ain't really whatever. You did it out of convenience and because you were completely compatible with this person. Right. But you ain't got no chemistry with this person. Yeah. And that's, you know, so
I know, you're absolutely correct.
And that goes back to, I think, what you were saying. It's like you just do it because you want to conform to the culture around you and the people and the cousins and the friends around you. When
Middle Eastern, before I got into a relationship, Middle Eastern married women was my favorite target. to like hit on, like because and especially if they got divorced.
What a specific thing. Middle Eastern married women. That's your shit, dog.
It was easy because I knew what to say to them. I knew to be like, so let me ask you a question. Like when you got married,
really happy, boo.
No, that's what you say. You can say that to any other culture in the work. With Middle Eastern women, you poke at like, so did you get married because like you felt like you had to, or did you get married because you chose your husband? And then be like, oh, I felt like I was pressured to my family and this and that. It's like, oh, I got you, bitch. Like now I know exactly what to say after this.
You said that, not me.
I know exactly what to say now to get you in my bed. So
whoa!
Yeah, it was easy. It was very easy. So but it made me realize when I used to talk to all these married women, like, yes, they literally just thought they were designed to go and meet another married man meet a man that's successful, has all of his money and has everything together, marry him, have kids,
same culture, same religion, same
all that shit.
The shit I said earlier,
and they all end up miserable. And it's exactly what you said. The only reason divorce rates are higher now is because for whatever reason the Middle Eastern
stigma is not as
strong anymore for some reason.
Right.
Before, I think churches wouldn't even marry you. Some churches wouldn't marry you if you were divorced. And now it's like they're like, we need the money. So all right.
Yeah, man, it's but it's not just, I'm just using relationships as one example of, I get it, you need to make money, I get it, you got to make sure you have a solid foundation in life, but that doesn't mean like, I don't know, whether it's with money, whether it's with relationships, whether it's with your family or whatever, just conforming to conform and leaving, selling your soul and leaving yourself uninspired and unfulfilled and no joy just because you gotta do it. That's misery, yo. Might as well just go jump off a bridge. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't condone suicide or nothing like that. That's not a joke. But I'm just saying is be happy, yo. Be with the person you want to be with, chase the passions that you want to chase and get involved in the things that you're passionate about. And I know that's easier said than done because some people will hear that and say, oh, that comes from a place of, privilege or something like that where you have the time and the energy to go do what you like. My immigrant parents and aunts and uncles, they'll say we came here with nothing. We didn't have that choice. We had to work all day from sun up to sundown. So I didn't even have time to think about what I enjoy, what I like, whatever, because I had to fucking feed you. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And that's real life too. But I'm sorry, I would never want my parents or anybody to have to be miserable to feed me. I'd rather you not feed me then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That goes with my parents. That goes with, if I ever had kids one day, that's what I would teach them is when before you get married, before you have kids, before you make these major life decisions, make sure you are happy.
Yeah.
And happy doesn't mean pleasure. Happy doesn't mean having a lot of money, sleeping with a lot of women, and that's pleasure, yo. That's not necessarily
happiness,
joy and fulfillment. These are two different things.
Yeah.
You can have the most pleasurable life in the world and still be a miserable piece of shit.
Facts. I mean, you can see it in celebrities all day long.
Yeah.
Like the guys who, it's basically when you consume so many things that just increase your dopamine levels. Like, you're just going after physical and psychological, benefits all the time, then you're never going to find true fulfillment.
Yeah.
And we're all soaked into like food, right? Hooking up with women, whatever the case might be, distracting yourself with certain things. But at the end of the day, it's like that true happiness needs to be dictated by, again, what really matters to you and what really fulfills you, instead of it just being what is the destination only because that's what's available. Like, I remember, man, I was talking to this girl one time and she was like, man, fuck. Well, she was basically like telling me that her sister one time asked her which guy she should marry because she had multiple options of guys that wanted to marry her. And I was like, that's terrible.
That's terrible. You should know.
You should know
which one you love to
One of the guys was rich. One of the guys was like middle class, but he was like a better personality. And she ended up marrying the rich guy. She ended up marrying the rich guy and ended up becoming miserable.
Ain't no love in the heart of the city.
No,
I'm telling you, bro.
Well, money is not the answer, man. It's just facts not. It's
money and pleasure is not, I would say pleasure and is not the answer. Fulfillment and joy is.
Right.
And I think about it like a person who like works out and diets. they want to eat fucking McDonald's every day too. They want to pound a gallon of Mountain Dew too, but they've sacrificed those pleasures for less pleasurable meals,
Yes.
less pleasurable drinks, a more healthier diet and workout regimen. They rather sit down and watch fucking TV too, but instead they go to the gym because they know the fulfillment and joy outweighs the immediate pleasure that they're going to get. Everything in life is like this.
Yeah,
you know?
99% of the day you're gonna feel better if you have
Feel better about yourself.
Yeah, feel healthier physically and mentally and everything like that. Versus that 1% of the day where you're eating the McDonald's.
Yep.
And then that other 1% where you're on the toilet all night long. So like, there's a 2% of the
That's
time.
what it is, dog.
You know what I'm saying? Valid, I wanted to get you on here. I mean, I'll have you back on as soon as possible, man.
Hey, man, you've had me on so much lately. I appreciate you,
I
bro.
want to make you.
I ain't
I want to
pressing
make you a regular, man. I want to make you a regular.
Well, I'll be happy to be a
that.
regular. Valentine's Day 7. All right? Saturday, February 10th. All Miami, Detroit, Michigan. This is the 7th annual one. And for those who've rocked with me since the first one to now, you know how we do. It's big. The performances are always dope. Shout out to DJ Head, J-Mac, All Miami, Hennessy, Modelo, motherfucking Mitchell and Maria, Funk Night Records, all that good stuff, man.
One more thing I want to ask you before we close
sir.
out, since the Grammys did do their top album, what would your top album have been for the Grammys?
Ooh, I didn't see who was all nominated. But what album came out this year that I really, really liked? Oh, I know. Valid and Stretch Money, Bill and Isaiah. That's
good.
my answer to that question.
All right, other than yourself.
No, probably Killer Mike. I told you earlier, I did check it out. I liked it. I wish I spent more time with it, but I really enjoyed it the time I heard it. And then there's another one, too, that came out that I really, really liked. The Larry June Alchemist. I think that came out within the last 12 months. And that Larry June Alchemist, that was sweet. It had a song with Big Sean on there and shit like that. That was a good-ass album.
So that's what you would have picked for your Grammy nomination.
Right.
Very cool.
But I'm not contending Killer Mike winning at all. I'm super happy because Killer Mike he's like a perfect, I think, in my opinion, a perfect like representation of the whole hip-hop culture. It's cool. Killer Mike.
Beautifully said, my man. Valid. Appreciate you. Appreciate your perspectives on life,
brother.
man. This was fun. Got to talk a little hip hop, a little life.
That's right.
Have you back on here again really soon. Everybody
Whenever
go check
you
out
need.
Validtines Day this Saturday. That's February 10th, man. A lot of things going down. I'll try to pull up, man.
Bronco tape out now. Go
Bronco
bang
tape.
that shit.
We're out.
Peace.